Gutterball 95 coming hot at you. I was told that I'm a little loud in the intro, so we're bringing it down a notch or two. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. You want to get on Gutterball, let us know. Be a guest, get on Gutterball. Hit us up on Instagram, DM us, get on this, all that jazz, all that stuff. We got a great list of topics here. Before we do anything, we're gonna do song of the week, and we're gonna go through how our weeks have been. Paul, what's popping? What's new? You look concerned. You look pressed. You look angry. What's going through your head right now? Let us know. How you feel?
Nothing. I was just like making sure my tabs are okay. Doing good. Stressed out. 2 weeks off of work has flown fast. We're almost towards the end of it here now. I thought I'd get a lot more done with the house. Honestly, in hindsight, I really have gotten a lot done. Like I have gotten a lot done, but there just seems to be now I'm starting to understand the when you own a home, there's just never-ending projects, whether it's things you want to do or things you need to fix. So kind of understanding that now in my first 2 weeks being here. But yeah, I've been in the house over a week now. It's going good. My week's been good. You know, it's nice to have kind of a breather from work. I haven't had time off in a while since like September. So yeah, how you doing, man? What's new?
Terrible. But, that's a lot of work, Paul. Buying a house is a lot of shit you have to do, a lot of stuff you had to work on. But yeah, same shit, different day. Still want to die. Not changing. But yeah, we're gonna do song of the week. Paul, I'm gonna let you jump into yours because mine's gonna take a little bit longer. So, what have you been vibing to this week, Paul? What's your vibe when you're fixing up your house, cleaning it up? Some kind of trumpet song? Listen to a lot of trumpet music lately? What you been listening to?
Man, no, I've been listening to uh so there's this song I like. It's called I Got the by I think it's Labi Safri. I don't know. I think that's how you say it. And you
Sapphire.
guys, most people would recognize some of this song in another song because it was popularly sampled by Eminem in his song "My Name Is" or "Hi, My Name Is." Is it "My Name Is"? Is that the
I think it's
official?
just my name is.
Yeah, I think it's just "My
Dot
Name
dot
Is"
dot.
by Eminem. But the classic riff of I think it's just a bass or a guitar and just the little drum part. That's all
Little
taken
organ.
from the song "I Got the" by Labi Sifri or Labi Sifri. And I don't know, I just like the actual original song because it's old school. It's got good lyrics to it. And I really like how the first minute or two of the song are entirely different to when it changes and goes into that riff and the lyrics eventually change and stuff. It's a good song. I like it. And that's my song of the week. I got the
Yeah. You know me, I love my time signature changes. I like when Rush does it like 8 times in one song. It's like we're going to 2/4, and then we're going to 4/4, and then we're going to 4/8, 4/6, 4/7. Those aren't even time signatures. I don't know. But I love that. I like that type of stuff. He didn't really sample as much as he just ripped the entire song and just put it, and it's literally just like the beat
the
of my name.
entire
'Cause you know that
beat.
one song? You know that one song, My Name Is, I am the way I am, that's a good song. I'm not afraid. I think that also samples that. Paul, have you heard that one Eminem song with Marilyn Manson, "The Way I Am"?
No.
So they have the original version, "The Way I Am," without Marilyn Manson. You can't find it on any streaming. Excuse me. They have the original, "The Way I Am" by Eminem. You can find that on streaming, but then he has Marilyn Manson, and they redo it. It's like a rock song, and Marilyn Manson takes over the hook, and it's really good. I really, really like it. Look that up if you haven't heard that. Probably my favorite Eminem song. Um,
Okay.
but
I'll
my
check it
song
out.
of the week isn't as much as a song as it is an entire album. It's the Somatic Defilement, the debut Whitechapel album. Paul, now you introduced me to this album way back in the day. One of the first death metal songs I ever got into was the Vicer Exciser.
It's an
Very
old
brutal,
album.
very old album. I think 2009 is when it came out. Very brutal. The whole album, front to back, I've listened to probably like no exaggeration 15 times this week. I will just play it back to back because it every single song holds up really, really well. Fantastic. I love it. Um, and I always kind of like stayed away from Whitechapel after they did that really gay acoustic version of their songs. And they had like a couple albums come out recently that were just fucking really emo cringe. Like versus like you get this really hardcore death metal from them from their debut, and then they just got softer and softer. Did you notice that, Paul? At all?
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is what most metal bands should be doing, and I know not a lot of people like it, but they're trying to change up their sound because they'll never know how they sound differently if they don't try. You know what they could do? They could be the Suicide Boys and sound the exact same for the fucking last 15 years. Yes, they've done a few different things, don't get me wrong. They made one or two off mixtapes here, But what I'm saying is they're doing what they should be doing in such a clouded space of metal, which is trying to change it up. Kind of like what Code Orange did. Code Orange really heavy. They decided to have more of a acoustic-y album, but they also had some EDM
Didn't
songs
work.
in there, and I thought it was cool. I like it. But it also
Personally,
depends
I
on what
don't
you
think it
like.
worked. Yeah, I guess it depends on where you work. And we'll touch back on the Suicide Boys there later because I got some beef with you for saying that. But
It's
apparently
all the
other
same.
people thought the same. So Phil Bozeman recently took to Reddit a few days ago, and I just saw this when I was scrolling
Yeah.
it. I don't even follow the subreddit. Very interesting. God, I hate Reddit so much. And of course he has to go to Reddit and pander. But Phil Bozeman goes on Reddit and he says, and I quote, "Hey, Phil from Whitechapel here. I know there's concern for me saying this next album is our heaviest yet. If you want peace of mind on that, I promise. This next album, the songs are about mammoths, obese demon gorging themselves with food and making the poor and needy eat their own shit. You want it brutal and dark, and I am not fucking around." This is what he said. And then he goes through the comments. And then he goes through and he fuck off with the Chicago. Chicago's a dump. Everyone knows it's a dump.
Hey,
All right.
I got
Don't even
this
try to
from
pretend.
there. I saw the bean.
It's not even called that. It's called the essence of like retardation
It's
or
called
whatever it is.
Cloudgate, okay? And I
Oh,
saw the
what am I
bean.
thinking of? Cloudgate? That's some whatever. I feel like the eclipse has something to do with that. Like it reflects off the eclipse and it like beams your eyes out or something. I don't know. Anyway, he decided to go take the Reddit and answer some comments and he posted some lyrics, Paul. I'm gonna read some of the lyrics from his songs. Let's see here. Um, Fuck through the forsaken black hole by this blade, a once finite reach, now infinite as it punctures beyond. We hunt, we kill, we feast, we conquer. We are disciplines of hate, rage, and murder. Fuck them all, let them die. How I long for the stench and gentle caress of ivory skin of a witch. Feel it penetrate. So, I have some hope. And then he sings some lyrics backwards, but it's very Black Dahlia-esque, and I'm very looking forward to this album because if he's coming back full circle to some more heavy shit and not this acoustic baby shit, because that's not what I want to hear from Whitechapel. It's like I
I
get what
get
you're
it.
saying though. You got to swap it up a little bit, but it's like to me, like you're either death metal all in or you ain't shit. You know
I
what I mean?
suppose.
Like keep it consistent. This is why I like Cannibal Corpse so much because it never strayed from it. It was just straight brutal death metal for the last 15 albums, and they swapped it up enough because they went to. Here's the thing though, they went to thrash death metal, and then they went to more like groove death metal. So they swapped it up a little bit rather than just a hard, hidden like
Yeah.
just old school death metal like and I think a lot of bands suffer from that, like not changing it up a lot. Like I think Frozen Soul suffers a lot
Well, you
from
know
that.
who suffered
They
from it for a long time? It was
Who?
Corn until they finally changed it like
Oh,
7 years ago, a little bit.
yeah. You know what's funny? My brother Sam said corn is for faggots, and I never looked back. And I always thought corn is for faggots. He told me that when I was like 12, and he's like, Slipknot, that's all right. You can listen to that. And I was like, all right, I'm sold. Never listen to corn again, and I never will because I've been told corn is for faggots. That's all I need
Wait
to
a
know.
second. No, I'm just
I like.
kidding.
Wait a second. I like that. Wait. Hey, I ain't no faggot. It's like that Fish
Yeah.
Hawk thing. I ain't know. No. I like that one
Jeez.
album where it's like the hopscotch and they go right off the ledge, whatever that one's called, the album cover. You
Yeah,
know
you
that?
like
You know
that
that
one?
one? Yeah. Yeah, it's okay.
Well,
Yeah.
you want to know a great example of a band that never changed? A Day
Okay.
to Remember. Only post-hardcore. Basically all the lyrics, all the songs are about the same thing. And
Core.
you can fuck off because Suicide Boys is extremely
Okay. We'll
they've
go.
done like
Let me.
one or two off track and it was
Okay.
bad.
No, they're good. Have you heard Ruby's solo albums, Duck Boy? That's really good.
That's
That's
not the
punk,
Suicide Boys. That's their solo albums.
I
I'm
guess.
talking
You're
them
right,
as a
but
group.
still.
You fucking asshole.
Mm.
Don't try to change it up
Don't.
and bring things
I
out of
will
the
change it up.
woodwork.
Listen here. All right. What do you? Okay. I want to die in New Orleans. That was the peak, and then they always went downhill. You know what, Paul? The more and more I think about it, you're right. I don't even have any argument against that. Because they just progressively got worse and worse, in my opinion. I guess if you're an old school fan, the what was that most recent album they put out? The one with the priest on the cover, my lullaby, my sweet temptation. That album sucked. That was not good. I feel like they got more to Memphis funk, ironically, as they aged, because Scrim got harder to hear, But what about the Ying Yang tapes? That's different. That's like huge funk. Like, that's not the same at all. That swapped it up really hard.
There's a few good songs on there, but it's an example of like going way off the like it's not even recognizable that it's them.
I know that's the point. That because they were going for that Memphis funk, and it really worked in my opinion, which I liked. If you understood what they were going for, it made sense.
You're
And
Memphis
glad that they're
funk.
recognizable. I am a Memphis funk fan. Yeah, I like
All right,
funk. Okay.
let's get off of songs and music.
Hmm.
I'm sick of
No, but
this.
I still have points to
I'm
make.
sick
Okay, and
of
they didn't
thinking
remember. I wouldn't even say they're hardcore. They're like emo, like
they're
kind of
post-hardcore.
soft rock. Like I get they are post hardcore. You're right. They had like 10 hardcore songs. That's it. And Jeremy, whatever his name is, he's not even a good screamer. He kind of
McKinnon.
sucks.
Yeah.
McKinnon, yeah.
That's why they always have to bring in features from other bands. Like who is it? They had to bring in Jake Lures from no, that's what. Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of a different song. I think there's a song called Ghosts that he features in on August Burns' Red Song. But I'm trying to think. I know that Data Remember has used a lot of heavier vocalists to like feature in their songs for certain hooks and stuff.
Yeah. I just think they're burnt out. I would like to see them live though. They're on tour right now. I'd love to catch a show. But
A
I
really
guess we're
good
going
dynamic
off.
band is August Burns Red.
Mhm.
Almost every single album of theirs sounds different as far as
Yeah,
as far as the music. The lyrics maybe and the vocalists not so much, but the music, dude. I don't know if you ever listened to God, what was that album they just released? Not this last one, but the one before that that had the Phantom Rose or something it had the rose on it. That album, dude, is some of the best like guitar and instrumental playing I've heard. Like it's so good. A song that comes to
yeah,
mind for me on that is The Frost.
I didn't listen to that. I'll have to check that out. I wasn't a huge fan of them. I did like the Christmas album. That was pretty neat. They did do a Christmas album, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool. I don't know if it had lyrics, so I don't remember if they sang. But yeah, that's neat. I like when bands swap it up. Suicide Boys is different, Paul, and I refuse to have you tell me they're not. But I guess you
Phantom
want to swap
Anthem. Check out the Phantom Anthem album.
Anthem. Okay, I'll go listen to that. Listen to the Phantom Anthem. Listen to the Somatic Defilement, and listen to Labby Sapphire. I got them.
You just
Here.
say
Just
it
fucking
completely
butcher his
wrong.
name, yeah.
Just pronounce it
Yeah.
wrong on purpose.
Listen
you
to the Labby
asshole.
Sapphire to Somatic Defilement, Alone in the Morgue, a good song. But you want to swap topics so bad. What is pressing? What's
I
on
don't
your
even
mind?
know what to talk about. What do you want to
You don't
talk
even know what
about?
to talk about?
Nope.
Well, can we talk about YouTube and its recommendations, Paul? Because they are pissing me off lately. So, I've had several TV shows spoiled by YouTube recommendations because YouTube decides to recommend a show I've been watching. Somehow they know because they're pulling from my Hulu or HBO, and they'll go put right in the title. Talk about Jojo Siwa. We put right in the title. They go right in the title. They go XYZ, this character dies. XYZ, this character gets arrested. And then recently, Paul, it happened with Invincible. They started spoiling the newest season of Invincible. A day after it came out, I didn't even have a chance to watch the first episode. They spoiled the first episode for me completely because they go, this character came back. This character is still alive. I'm not even going to spoil it because I don't know if you watched it, Paul, but I was like generally like upset because I'm like, oh, great, Omni-Man's back. I kind of thought he was dead. It was kind of fun to think he was dead, but then YouTube decided to spoil it. So, Paul, what do? Naturally, I go, not interested. I'm not interested in this content. Don't recommend it. Click refresh. That's all on my
Understandable.
homepage. They keep putting it back. They keep putting Invincible content. Do you know how many times I clicked not interested on Invincible content, Paul? 20 times.
It doesn't
I'm not even
work.
exaggerating.
Not interested
It
doesn't
does
work.
not work. It doesn't work. So I don't understand the point of it, but I keep getting the show. I'm gonna spoil it. Paul, have you caught up on Invincible? Because I'm not.
Yeah, I'm all caught up.
Okay. Alan the
Spoiler alert.
Alien's back.
Yeah, he's been back.
Spoiled it. Yeah. But I didn't know that until YouTube decided to fuck me and tell me that he's back. The last time I saw him, he got his fucking heart exploded through his chest. And I'm like, well, that dude's dead. He's not coming back. But then they decide to fuck me and spoil it, and it ruins the fun of watching the show, and it makes me not want to watch the show. And you know what? I was watching The Wire. They spoiled The Wire for me.
Spoilers ruin things for you?
Spoiler alert! Omar is dead. Thanks for telling me Omar died, my favorite character, before I watched the show. Now I know Omar is gonna die at some point. It's
I
just
don't
like
know.
really frustrating.
Spoilers don't bother me that much.
Really? I mean, on a show you like it really doesn't bother you at all. Like, I mean, I guess like, man, it really makes me upset. Like, if I thank God I didn't get any Sopranos spoilers while I was watching it because I would have been pissed off.
I got some Sopranos spoilers a little bit before. Like I knew that like Chris Moltisanti was gonna die at some point. I just didn't know how. But
Yeah,
like things like that. But no, it doesn't really bother. Now it would bother me if somebody was like, "Here's the end of the show, and here's what happens." But as far as like this character dies, this character's back. This, if it has nothing to do with the end of the show, I'm fine with it.
really, it just makes me upset. I'm really anti-spoiler. I'm not about it. I mean, as long as we're on the topic of YouTube, Paul, I have YouTube Premium, and I'm sure you do. And you
Yeah,
even mentioned on the cast, we like to watch YouTube movies and TV shows they have for free.
it's been
Every
a
like
while.
once a month, YouTube will cycle YouTube movies and shit. They'll give you free movies for having premium. They're usually not the greatest, but sometimes they have some bangers. What did they have the other day? They put on Rounders. I'm like, great, Rounders. I fucking love Rounders. Rounders is
Yeah,
a great movie. It's got a Matt Damon. What's his name? What's his face? That one asshole. American History X. God, what's his name? Paul, you
Ed
gotta
Norton.
help me out here. Edward Norton. Yep. So they put on Rounders, and I'm like, oh great, I'll watch Rounders. And I've seen Rounders, no exaggeration, like a dozen times. I love that. It's one of my favorite characters. Oh, John Malkovich, another one in there. Yeah, you look like John Malkovich. I think you
Yeah,
do a really good John Malkovich. No, no
no.
cap. You have the facial structure. You do. If you shave and get like
I
a
can't really
dirty Russian,
do his condescending voice though. That
you
I
got to be
can't.
Russian a little more.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
Russian in that. He usually
yeah.
plays. You know what he plays. He's usually
A
just
piece of shit.
so
He's
yeah.
just shithead. He's always a shithead. Anyway, so at the
Cyrus
beginning
the
of
virus.
Yeah, Cyrus the Virus. Yeah, at the beginning of Rounders, there's a very important scene where Worm's in prison, Edward Norton's character, and he's playing all the prisoners, and he's betting them with cigarettes, right? And he's like playing them for cigarettes, and then he wins all their cigarettes, and he doesn't even smoke, and he's about to get out of jail. And they're like, "Come on, Worm, you about to get out? Give us our cigarettes back." He's like, "You guys are just fucking crybabies," and he takes all the cigarettes and walks out. And what does he do the second he gets out of prison? He rips them up and throws them in the trash because he's an asshole. This established that the character is a dick. So I went and go watch a YouTube movie because I love that scene. It's the first 10 minutes of the movie. They cut it out. It's not in the YouTube version. They edited it down for TV and they put it to the PG-13 version. So what you get instead is just Edward Norton walking out of the prison, ripping up his cigarettes and throwing them away. And it holds no weight to the character because you're like, why did he just rip up cigarettes? Because they cut out the scene previous. So I just stopped watching it because I'm like, what else did they cut out? Did they cut out them getting the shit kicked out of them by those cops or them like, the dogs and all
Yeah,
that? So I was like, really like the fuck. Then I go and watch Secondhand Lions, Paul. Secondhand Lions, great fucking
I have it
movie.
on DVD.
That movie's awesome. We used to watch it as kids all the time, and I love that. It's got Michael Caine, Robert Duvall, and then that one kid. They
Yeah.
have a scene in that movie that I remember from watching as a kid all the time, where the kid jumps out of the car and like on the bridge, like his mom's driving away and he doesn't want to leave, and he jumps out of the car and rolls away, you know. And I'm like, that's such an important scene because it shows he wants to go back. They cut that scene out. Apparently, it's too violent to have the kid jumping out of the car, a moving car, and rolling. He's fine. He got a little scraped. He got a couple cuts. He got a couple splinters. He's good. They cut out that scene. I'm just like, the fuck? Like,
The hell.
why do this? I think it's dumb that YouTube movies will edit it for TV, but it's like it's not
In
TV. It's
general,
premium.
digital media is a problem because they can go and do that. So here's
Right.
shout out to Jake Pomeroy, who was on our podcast before. Shout out, Jake. Haven't talked to you in a while, man. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah, shout out Jake. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't remember it.
But
Yes.
he
Yeah.
is really into movies, or just media, movies, books,
Yeah.
basically anything you can get your hands on physically. And he is like he's the one that got me wanting to like, he's like, just buy that movie you want, because he said
Mhm.
30 years from now it's going to be a watered down edited version you can only buy digitally, and you'll have no way to watch the original, and you won't even know those scenes are missing because it had been so long. Like, and so that's why I mean, you saw his big shelf. That's why he's very meticulous and, really buys what he likes and goes after what he likes, because he knows that one day it's going to be watered down, edited, and maybe not be, okay in society anymore. Don't get me wrong. There are some horrible scenes in movies that like depict the past, our ancestors, as bad, but it's like, that doesn't mean we should be destroying that media. It was at the
Mhm.
time how it was, And I'm just
It's a
saying that
movie.
about
As
all
soon as you
things.
as soon as you censor art, you're dealing with the tricky line, just like them editing out all those It's Always Sunny episodes where they did blackface or Hispanic face. Is that a term? It's a term now. Where D dresses up,
Martina
as Martina
Martinez.
Martinez. Why are you so stupid? Yeah, that's bad. Like, that's pretty racy,
See,
man.
that's
Then
not
Hulu,
even the funny part to me, though. The funny part to me is Green Man, and he always hits her with the ball. Like, that's what's
really,
funny
that's
to
the
me.
funny part.
That's the
Why are
funny
you
part
so
to me.
stupid? I like that part. And then they edit because they did the Irish character. So as soon as you do that, like, and it's funny because I go and talk
Yeah,
to people.
Irish.
Everyone loves It's Always Sunny. Like, you can't find anyone that doesn't like that show. And I tell them, hey, you ever see Lethal Weapon 5? You ever see Lethal Weapon 6? They're like, what's that? They don't even know what it is. See, that's what Jake was talking about. It gets so watered down and pushed away that you forget it exists. People haven't even seen the trash episodes. I had to tell literally, this happened a month ago. I had to tell my coworkers, I'm like, yeah, it sucks they took out all those other episodes. And they're like, what episodes? I'm like, the one where they did the blackface and, the trash crisis, the funny episodes. They're like, no, I don't. And then I had to get them. I had to find them. I literally had to I gave them Soap Today. But go to Soap Today, pull it up and watch this. Get a VPN. You'll be out. He's like my 40-year-old coworker. I'm like, you'll think these are funny.
Good morning, Juarez family.
Yeah, that episode's not banned. That episode's
No.
fucking funny. That one, honestly, it makes, if they banned it, I'd be like, I wouldn't agree with it, but I could see why they would. Because it is, they make them all. They put in the contacts of the eyes and they make him look white.
That's
like,
horrible.
Oh, he looks freaky. He looks freaky. Frank goes up to him and looks right in their face. But no, censorship is a huge problem. I won't stand for it. It's like even on Spotify, like, why is there why do I accidentally add a censored version of a Biggie song to my playlist? Like, who is listening to 10 Crack Commandments censored? Who is doing that? Who's playing that, Paul? Who is that for? Is that for 12-year-olds who want to listen to the 10 Crack Commandments? Is that for you? Radio?
Raise my hand. No. So sometimes on YouTube Music or whatever YouTube streaming or like music streaming platform I'm using at the time, which is for the last like 3 years now and currently is YouTube Music. Sometimes, very rarely, there will be a song that I like that it adds the censored version. I can't find the uncensored version, and honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. Like, if it's just like a one-off, like I have a couple songs in my playlist that are censored because you can't find the uncensored on the platform I have, like even on YouTube, like I just can't find it, and it won't add it to YouTube Music. So it's not that big of a deal to me. Like I won't skip.
Why don't you just start burning books, Paul? You fucking Nazi! You are towing the line here, buddy. Whose side are you on exactly? Whose side are you on? Censorship. This guy is a censorship fiend. He loves it. Look at it. Look at that face. That's the face of censorship right there. I can't even look at you anymore. You disgust me.
I'm gonna go out in the garage and smash my teeth out with a hammer and then come back in.
Dude, that would be really brutal.
Like, come back in and all my teeth are cracked and just shattered. They're all like, I'm bleeding. Hey.
Few scenes I skip in movies. It's the American History X Curb Stomp and the Sopranos Curb Stomp. Dude, the thought
You don't
of
like
Curb
curb
Stomp
stomps?
Dude, that sounds awful. Like,
That
that's
sounds
one of the
pretty
worst
cool.
injuries I could think of. Like, worst things you can do to someone, like, without any other, like, things. Like, I don't know. Would you rather you have your arm cut off, or would you rather be curb stomped? What would you want, Paul? Would you rather have machete taken to your arm or curb stomped? I'd have the machete to my arm.
Curb stomping, you don't die necessarily, right? You just bust your jaw and all your teeth out. Maybe your nose.
You could die if they push the teeth up into you. I heard that you can die. I mean,
I'd rather the arm. I'd rather the arm.
Exactly. You don't want to get curb.
You know what I want? You know what I want? I want to die that Brazilian way, where the gang way, where they put you in a whole bundle of tires, like in Max Payne. They stack you in a bundle of tires and cover you in gasoline and set you on fire, so you burn inside all the tires, and rubber just burns off on you, and you just burn alive in there for fucking hours.
You want to die that way? You
No.
really want to go that way? No, that sounds awful. Is there any scenes, Paul, that are in TV shows that you skip because they're so violent? I got another one right off the bat.
Yeah,
It's just
Aceveda in The Shield.
Yeah. Dude,
Destiny.
that maybe not. I never finished the show.
Dude, I finished the show. It's a great show. Finish that show, Jack. You think The Sopranos is good? I'm not gonna lie, I think The Shield was better than The Sopranos. Hands down. Like, in my opinion.
It is a good show.
The better show.
I really do like it. Okay, maybe I'll rewatch it and then I'll remember that episode and just skip it.
Just skip it. But what I will say is it's a fucked up episode, but that's an important part to Aceveda's character development, because, like, you need to know that happens. So now that you know that it's happened, you can just skip it. But
Right.
when we moved in here, Destiny just started rewatching The Shield out of nowhere. I hear the da, like the intro, and I'm like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
watching The Shield?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, well,
Like,
when you get to that Aceveda part, just make sure I'm not in the room or skip the episode, please." And she's like, "Yeah, that
mhm.
episode's fucked up."
Yeah, and it's not HBO, it's like a public TV, it's like
It's
a one of those
FX,
public FX, it's an
I
FX
think.
show.
And for those of you
Okay.
listening, there is an episode of The Shield, which, if you have not seen it, it is a great show. That show is made by the same guy who made Sons of Anarchy. It really paved the way for a lot of other shows, just like Sopranos did. Like, I think Sopranos bled into The Shield, and The Shield bled into other shows in a way as far as inspiration. But there's an episode where, like, I think it's the chief of police or like the captain or whatever of the police department uh, gets caught by two criminals and they have weapons and he couldn't draw his gun and they basically mouth well, I can't say the word, the R word, but
Mhm.
they stick their dongs in his mouth. Well, one of them does, and yeah, and they basically R him. And it's horrible. I hated that scene. You don't see it like a lot of it, but I hated it. Just the aspect of it and how it happened and how grimy it was is just like it's terrible. I
I
can't
shut
believe they
off the
put that on
show.
TV. I can't believe that was on TV.
I can't. I shut off the show and never watched it again, and I don't think I'm gonna. Legitimately, after that scene, I just shut it off, and I was like, "I'm done." Same with the scene where Melfi gets R'd in The Sopranos, very violent.
Horrible.
That one's even more violent.
And I
They
hate
fucked
that
up.
nothing came of that. Like they just
No, she wouldn't tell Tony. She knew who it was. Man, I wish, because if they told Tony, that guy
that
would have gotten
I
that
wanted to
shit would
see
have
I
you
wanted to
he would have
kind of
gotten
see it
fucked up.
happen, honestly. I don't know why
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just
But
let it like that. But
I guess it shows that Melfi was generally a good person, I guess, at the end of the
and
day, and didn't want that guy to die, I guess,
her
and,
development, it mattered
her
to her
development,
character
yeah.
development. I
Yeah, it
didn't
did.
like I didn't like how Melfi just broke it off at the end kind of subtly with Tony. It's felt like too open-ended. But how
Yeah, I
else?
agree.
How else do you
How else do you do it?
she either would die, they would get together, or she would just have to break it off. And she broke it off doing the smart thing for her, but it's just like it felt so open-ended. Like it almost felt like everything her and Tony went through meant nothing throughout the entire series. And I would say a
Right.
good 20 to 25% of the show is him sitting in that office with her. Like she's a main character.
Yeah, and they cut it off, and then there's a whole other season after that, so it's like 20 episodes of
Yeah.
not, her character. But I guess it kinda made sense, because when she went to her therapist, he was, like, kind of always saying he's never gonna change, he's a piece of shit, violent psychopath, and she's just only doing it, kinda like in a vanity way, where, like, she just loves the thought of being around a gangster and stuff, and then she kinda realized that that was bad, because that, therapist told her that, so she cut it off, and, yeah, no, yeah, it did leave it very open-ended. Any other scenes, Paul, at the top of your head, you think you're just like, "I really despise this, and I don't wanna watch this at all." It's just awful. I can think of another one straight from The Wire. I don't know if you watched The Wire, I
I
don't
haven't
wanna
seen it
spoil it.
yet. We do want to, but go
I'm not
ahead
gonna
and
spoil
if
it.
as long as it doesn't spoil the end of the show, I don't care.
Well, I'll just say a character dies. I guess you said you don't care about spoilers. So a very young character who you've been following for the whole season of The Wire gets shot to death, and it's very sad, because this character, he's a young kid caught up in the game. He got killed for virtually no reason. I think most of it was just to get street cred. And he comes upstairs, and he's like 19, he's taking care of like 5 kids that aren't his, making sure they eat. He goes upstairs, he's like, "Yo, where are all the kids at?" He's like, "Are y'all all right?" And then he goes up, and then his best friend shoots him in the face, like 2 times, and he's like crying. And that scene I always skip, because it's like, damn, man, they killed I think his name is Bodie, if I remember. Like,
Oh,
damn, they
okay.
killed Bodie. That's fucked up.
I thought
So
of
it's
one.
that one. It's just sad. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What you got?
So I know, okay, this is Criminal Minds is one of those shows where it's almost like Law and Order in the sense of here's the formula, blah 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 blah. This happens every episode, and then it gives some character development. But you know how those shows that can kind of drop in whatever, but there is character development, like characters change out, characters go away. So that's how Criminal Minds is. I don't usually like those type of shows. Like I'm not big on Law and Order, maybe when I was a kid, but Criminal Minds, my girlfriend got me into it because some episodes are actually pretty good and it isn't that formulaic. Like some episodes are completely different than others. And you would think I'm kind of like a pussy for this, but There is an episode of Criminal Minds. I think it's around season 6. There's like a ton of seasons of that show. There's like 20 at least, or around there. But it's either the first episode or the last episode of one of these seasons, because it is a brutal episode. Like, it was violent for TV. And basically, there's this nasty guy, kind of overweight, scraggly hair. Think of, he looks like Jack the Ripper from Last Action Hero, but heavier. Portly.
Ooh, gross.
And
yeah.
What he does, they're tracking this guy. He breaks into these homes when the wife and husband are sleeping, ties them both up, R's the wife in front of the husband, and then kills the husband in front of the wife, and then kills her, or vice versa, and does that over and over and over. And the scenes get increasingly, as it happens, as they're trying to find him, more and more violent. I think he ends up getting shot and killed by like one of the main people in the show, but it was just so like dark. Like, the way it was filmed was gritty, and I was like, Jesus. And like, that show is a popcorn show. We don't really watch popcorn shows anymore. And by that, I mean something you can just throw on in the background that you've already seen that you aren't really focusing on. So for instance, like The Office, right? We've all seen The Office multiple times. Some episodes more than others because maybe we weren't paying attention. That's what Criminal Minds is for us. We haven't watched it in a long time, but whenever we flip it on and that episode comes around, I'm like, nope, skip it right away. I don't want to see it. It's horrible.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that violent of a show. I always assumed it was like a.
There are some really, dude. There are some really fucked up like serial killers and stuff they hunt in that show. Like, I know it's all fictional or whatever, but it's like it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's gross. Yeah, I mean, pretty much all the scenes I skip are scenes, especially in Law Abiding Citizen. I've only seen that movie 3 times, but I always skip the first like 10 minutes.
We just watched that movie again.
Oh my god, you got my favorite quote of Gerard Butler. He's like, I want a bed, you know, and I want a bed in my cell. And he's like, I believe all those beds are bolted into the cells. It's like, that's what wrenches are for, dumbass. He's just so Gerard Butler to the cops. No, that movie is unintentionally funny, and I love. You see, the scene I don't skip is when he's torturing and cutting a guy's eyeballs and eyelids off. I don't skip that. I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy, you know, where he traps him and shit.
Oh,
he's like making him watch. Like, that's cool. Law Abiding Citizen is a great movie. It's a really shitty ending, in my opinion. I don't think it ended very well.
It is kind of end bad because you feel for the guy. You want Gerard Butler to win, which is terrible because really the person that should be winning is Jamie Foxx's character, the attorney, and he does win. But at the end, it's like it's not as satisfying as you want. It's like it's almost like they could have ended it where he did blow that place up, but then also he somehow was killed. You know, like I would be happy with that, but it's like I wanted him to kind of take down the system because he was wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like what he did was wrong, but and that's just a fictional example. But shit like that happens, dude, where guys get off because, you know, and the like somebody else involved in the crime gets more time than the other person. They didn't do as much as of, you know, it's fucked up.
I have a real life example that I just read recently. It's a big case right now. It was 7 years ago. So whatever. So minus 24 from 7, and then that's what you got. So this black gentleman hits another guy on a motor, sucker punches a guy. You know, you see those videos where people just randomly punch other people on the street.
Yeah.
Happens more often than you think. Typically in Chicago. It happens a lot in Chicago. Chicago's a murder capital. It's junk city. But he hits this guy off a motorbike. The guy falls, hits his head, goes into the coma for 7 years, Paul, and he just recently died about a week ago. It's a father of 2. This black guy randomly hits him. No prior engagement. The guy's never talked before. The guy that hit him got 5 years in jail and was paroled after, I think, 3 years. And now they're pushing for him to go back to jail because the guy died. So, yeah, essentially, well, murder, yeah. But essentially, Paul, it's kind of like if someone hit you and you went into a coma for 7 years and they got 3 years in jail and then got out, is essentially what happened.
And you wake up and the dude's already free. If you were to win, say you didn't die.
But he never woke up and he died. So they were trying to retry him. And from what I read, the guy's not going to get retried. He's just going to get away scot-free for essentially murdering somebody, which is not cool. Not cool at all, man. It's really, really dark, man. I've been watching a lot of police activity videos. Those are a riot. Dude.
Yeah, they are. You know,
you see the one? Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say, like, it's really too bad how fragile life is. You know what I'm saying? Because this sounds cringe. This sounds like every other gun-toting, guy that thinks he can be the hero and fix anything. But it's like, it's really too bad that life is so fragile, because shit like that makes me angry. Like, it makes me think that, like, why doesn't one of that dude's family members go out and just fucking kill that guy? And there should be no repercussions for him. But it's like, nope. No, that person's going to get the book thrown at them because it was premeditated. It was revenge. It was, and it's just like, it really bums me out that life is as fragile as it is, because I do think people should be able to get some comeuppance and revenge, man. Like, it's fucked up. And I know, forgive and forget. Yeah. And I don't know, forgive and forget, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. There are some things you can't forget,
separates us from the animals.
Like, I'm gonna be real with you, Jackson. If some guy were to come up to you, do that same thing to you, he got 3 years, you're in a coma, and then you pass away. I mean, I'd say this right now. I would go kill that fucker and go ahead, throw me in jail. Like,
yeah, that's my exact response too. But like, I guess I don't know how I would act until I'm put in that situation.
Exactly.
But I like to think that I would. But because you gotta understand, you have the capacity for evil. But again, it hasn't happened, and thank God it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Like, just like, I mean, it's
and
really
people are always like,
thing.
you can't get emotional. Don't get emotional. Emotions can't be in the court. That's not the law. And it's like, how do you think we settled things before we're civil now? Death, okay? And that still needs to be around. Yeah, it's high noon. Yeah.
Duels. Dude, duels are awesome. You ever think about having like a gun duel? Like, you go out, you turn around, you draw. I just watched The Quick and the Dead. Horrible movie. I mean, it's okay. Just the edits are really shitty in that movie. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No.
But there's a lot of big stars in that. But yeah, it's real dark, man. And I gotta stay away from those police activity videos, because Kyle didn't really put me on them, but I do watch them a lot because I've always seen them before. There's one recently. I mean, first of all, I've said this before, and I will say it again: women should not be cops at all. Frankly, there should be no women in law enforcement or the army or firefighters or paramedics, personally. And I will never ever go back on that. And I have some big reasons why. But
is this the one of the one running away?
No, okay. I'll tell mine. You tell yours.
Well, I don't remember.
Just run through it quick. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No one likes. Just go watch a video for yourself. No one likes someone else telling them about YouTube videos, except for when it's Kyle. Kyle's okay. You can do that.
He's a good storyteller.
But no, pretty much they're going to evict this guy. And I watched just like 5 minutes after it was uploaded. They're going to evict this guy, elderly man, from his home, and he decides to douse himself on fire. He literally just pours himself with gasoline in his home, sets himself on fire. It's these 2 women cops. And mind you, these women cops are small. I would guess they're about 140 pounds each. I'm 140 pounds. They have long nails, and this would piss me off. The cop had long nails, like this long, man. Those big ass, long, ratchet ass nails? Oh, girl, you cannot function and do anything with long nails. Trust me, I've had long nails. You can't do anything with them. She has those. They're trying to drag this big, fat, elderly girl out of the burning building, and they 2 of them can't even move this lady, barely. They can barely drag this 200-pound, probably like 250. He's a big girl. These 2 140-pound cops can barely get him out. They're panicking. They're freaking out. Yeah. Thus another reason why, if it was a 200-pound, big-ass, ripped cop, he could pull that lady out real easy. They just needed to drag her.
Most cops are fat, but go ahead. Or out of shape.
Most cops are fat, but I'd rather have a fat male cop than a petite, short female cop.
That's fair.
To be honest, and that's just real. Or how about that time they go to? Am I here, Paul? Am I cut out?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay. My camera just fucked up. If I cut out, it's hopefully not. They go to evict this guy in New York from his apartment because he's beating up his wife. They go inside the apartment. It's 2 male cops and 3 female cops. One of the female cops is a sergeant, big old lady, big old dyke looking bitch. I shouldn't use that. I'm gonna get banned. That's bad, dude. You gotta be careful using dyke. People get offended when you use slurs, I guess. Who would have thunk?
Do you get offended when slurs are used?
No, I don't give a fuck. Do whatever. It's America, motherfucker. I actually wish people would use slurs more often. It's kind of spices life up a little bit. It's like it's just word spice. It's like a sentence spiceners. It mixes it up a little bit. Anyway, they go to evict this guy, this black man. He ends up wrestling with these 3 male cops. He gets one of the cops' guns, and as soon as they're fighting, the 3 female cops turn around and run out right out the door, leaving the 2 males fighting this guy. So instead of a 4v1, it's now a 2v1 against this guy.
Okay.
And one of the female cops is just on the radio. She doesn't do anything. She's just watching these two cops fight. She's just watching. You can watch the video. They just dart out of the apartment. And this one female sergeant comes back into the room and fires 2 shots directly at her fellow officers and the guy and goes, and then runs out. Literally turns. I imagine she made those noises. And she literally turns around and runs out, dude. And we're like, I'm watching. I'm like, what the fuck? Doing? Like, why are you firing at these cops? Thank God no one was injured except for the black man when they whooped his ass, dude. They're beating the fuck out of that guy. Well, you grabbed the cop's gun. They got the gun away from him. He deserved it. Don't grab a cop's gun. But it just goes to show you, they can't handle it. And I was like blown away. I'm like, God damn, bro. It just makes so crazy how shit can go from fine to terrible real quick, man. That's scary. Respect to all the cops, dude. And it sucks because being in the gay community, Paul, I see so many profiles that have ACAB or like BLM, and BLM's whatever, I don't care. But ACAB is the most retarded shit I've ever heard. And I have
so dumb
friends say it, bro. And I'll be like, okay, I'll just say this. I went out with somebody who would constantly say cops are bad. And they'll be like, my brother's a cop. He's not a bad person. You know what they said, Paul? They said, oh, well, your brother's probably worse than you think. You know what I told her? I told her to shut her fat fucking face.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that. That was the end of that. I told her, you shut the fuck up, because if you talk shit about my brothers, we're going down. I never told anyone about that either.
Yeah.
And we never talked again. I legitimately told her to shut her fat fucking face. And that was the end of that. Because not all cops are bad. And don't tell me my brother's bad. There are bad cops. Not all of them. I'm pro cop. But yeah. It's just really stupid when it comes down to, I kind of went off on a little tangent.
That's
there.
Okay.
Sorry, but we're going hard.
So police activity, I like that channel. Here's my only gripe with the channel. Well, the one thing that's great about it is this shows when cops do bad things and it shows when cops do great things. And majority of the time, it's when cops do great things. You really get to see a day in the life of what kind of shit some cops are encountering across the U.S. State to state. But I almost hate that they upload so much, because there are so many ones I wish I had like saved in a playlist that it's so hard to find now, right? Because they don't have custom thumbnails, they don't have anything. They just shoot the footage up and they edit it together. Yeah, it's not monetized. So there's one I can think of though that I always remember, but some guy in like a trailer bedroom and he's arguing with the cop, and then out of nowhere the guy pulls a knife and tries to cut the cop with it, and the cop shoots twice and blows the dude's bottom jaw off. And that sound I heard of him gargling his blood was the most disgusting sound like I've ever heard. There's another one where the guy's like, I'm not your buddy, guy. He's got like, the cop pulls up to the house and the fat guy's standing there with a machete walking towards the cop. What? I can't hear you. Cut out.
I watched that last night. I watched that video last night.
He was like, I'm not your friend, pal, or whatever. And he keeps walking towards them, and they shoot him. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm done. He throws a machete away once they cap him. But there's like, I don't know, some are funny, some are like, damn, that's really cool they did that. Some are like, pretty intense. Like I'm talking like dudes getting shot in the dome. Like getting domed by cops, or dudes doming cops, and then it cuts to the other cop because the other cop got domed. Like it's a tough job. It's interesting. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels. I don't watch it often. It's like something that every 2 months I'll check in and be like, okay, how many videos have they uploaded? Let's see if there's any good ones, But it isn't something like I watch regularly.
There's a couple of them. Police Activity uploads a lot of shootings, but if you want to watch one that's more tame and just people either getting their asses whooped or tased, it's Code Blue Cam. And all cool Cold Blue Cams come from La Crosse, Wisconsin. Dude, let me tell you, La Crosse, Wisconsin, if you told me it was like the most violent place on earth, I'd believe you. There's so much shit going on down there, bro. And almost all the videos end with the people just getting their asses whooped and no one's getting shot or hurt, which is, it hurt. Someone's getting hurt, obviously, but they're well deserved. So it's a little more tame. I don't like to watch the shootings too much because that's like fucked up. But a lot of 99% of the time, I'd say it's just actually I say 100%. I haven't seen one video because of course the cops probably wouldn't release it if it wasn't just. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I always think just don't run from cops. If you have a speeding ticket, maybe don't drive away from the cops and crash your truck and then die. Or that one guy that fled from the cops and ran into traffic and got hit by a car and died immediately. Have you seen that one?
No.
All he was under, he was going to get a summons to court. It wasn't even going to go to jail that day.
Yeah.
He decides to run across the freeway. He gets caught up in 18-wheeler wheels. Dude, done. He's done. That's it. That's the end of that guy's life. And it wasn't even the cop's fault. They barely even chasing him. Like they were like 50 feet away from him, and like they were still running. They're like,
Accident happens. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, it's just stupid what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Well, enough about cop shootings.
Can
A
we
little
talk
sad.
about boxing beef and just boxing in
Yeah.
general? So
Yeah, what you got?
so since I moved up, guys, I've had no routine for over a week. I decided I was like, I need to do something now. So I didn't get a gym membership, but I got a boxing gym membership. Zach Jungle Boy Walters has Jungle Boy Boxing there in Duluth. And I just started going Monday. I've done 2 classes. I went Monday and yesterday on Wednesday. And I plan on just starting 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. However, I heard a lot of the academy or beginner classes are on Tuesday, Thursday. So I might have to try to start going to the Tuesday ones at 7. But regardless, I went Monday. It was great. Zach showed me. I mean, I know my footwork's terrible. He said like the worst thing is like my footwork's bad. So we're working on footwork. But he wasn't there yesterday. He normally is, but it's spring break. So I think he's got his kids. And I show up to the gym and not even 5 minutes I'm in there. I'm in the back. I'm putting my wraps on. I hear some shit going on. Like people were sparring when I got in. There was one older gentleman, no headgear, gloves on, and a younger kid with headgear on. And they were sparring each other and it seemed fine. And then all of a sudden I hear a bunch of shit talk out there and I hear, whoa, stop. The bell had went off and the older gentleman has got the kid in the corner and he's just beating him down, not stopping. And the lady who was running the gym at the time, got him to stop. He wouldn't stop. And then they're just trash talking, saying the worst things back and forth to each other. And obviously the older guy got kicked out of the gym. It's like, dude, I don't care if that kid said some shit to you. You're like double his age and double his size and you're beating down on him. Like, come on, man. Yeah. And they're, exchanging words back and forth. But this is where it kind of pissed me off. They asked the dude to leave the gym. He's going to leave the gym. And he's getting his stuff together at the front, like kind of by the desk. And then, Jack, it's funny how like you say that slurs don't offend you. They're starting to offend me, and I don't know if I'm getting soft. But that dude, that older gentleman, starts calling that young kid. He's like, hey, you got my number. He's like, let's go fight outside. He kept saying, calling him the F word. An F-A, whatever, So
you can say that on your
yeah, well, he kept saying that. And I was so close because I was just warming up. I had just gotten out to the mirrors. I was just shadow. I don't know. It seems that Zach wants you to shadow box for at least a round or something when you get in there. So
he always made us do 4.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. He wasn't there. So I just shadow boxed for a round to warm up, did some stretching, and then I got my gloves on. But I was just shadow boxing and I was about to turn around. I was pretty close to that guy and be like, dude, just get the hell out of here. Stop saying that shit. But I didn't want to get involved. This is my second day at the gym. I wasn't trying to start shit. All I know is that Zach got a call by that lady, and apparently he was pretty fucking upset. And I don't think that guy's going to be coming back to the gym, that older guy. I don't think he's going to be coming back.
And that's one of people's biggest fears when I tell them I'm boxing. I'm like, come box. They're like, oh, I don't want to get pieced up by somebody. And I'm like, that's your real fear because there are gym bullies.
Yep.
But Zach, he has an environment where that will not happen. I've never seen that happen all the time I went there. Because he will not let you spar unless he thinks you're ready. He won't put you against someone that's gonna whoop your ass.
Because shout
very
out,
unfortunate that happened.
Yeah, shout out Cody, Jonathan, and Garrett. Who I met Garrett my first day. He's around my age, but he's a little younger than me. But he's in college at LSC. Very nice guys, and I have just only really started talking to him my last one. I'm like, I could already say I'd be comfortable sparring these guys because I know they won't try to take my head off. Like. Yeah. I know that already, but
not everyone's a bully.
Yeah, and I've only went there twice, so I don't really understand the structure. One of the guys there said that he's actually looking for another gym because he doesn't like that it's not structured, and it's like I think it's pretty structured, but also like I haven't been there enough. Like I don't know. It's also hard for Zach to give her.
I could understand where it's not structured because he 100% focuses on the people that are gonna fight. If you come in there and say you're gonna fight, he's gonna give you 10 times more attention than people who don't, and I could see why he would say that. The reason why, just real quick, slurs. If someone were to call me a faggot, it would be akin to them calling me a cunt or telling me to go fuck
myself. But the
myself.
reason why I get mad about it is because, like, I know you, so that's why I was just,
Oh, a faggot. You know faggot, all right? I ain't no faggot.
No,
that's fucked up. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I know.
But there's a scene in the movie Goon where the guy's using slurs and he says, my brother's gay. And he gets all offended and heated. That's how
Mhm.
I was feeling. Like I was gripping my
Yeah.
fists in my wraps, and I was about to say
I
something.
respect
Then he
that.
finally walked
Yeah.
out. I wanted to pound his head in for you, and you weren't even there.
I appreciate Oh,
And I knew
shout
that
out
guy
you. I
probably would have.
appreciate
That
that.
guy
And
probably would have
I'm
schooled me.
yeah, I'm glad you didn't say anything, but I feel like everyone would have come to your aid at the end of the day. But yeah, that's it's not cool. That's fucked up. I feel that guy will not be returning to Jungle Boy. I can guarantee you that. Um, but yeah, that's fucked up. Boxing Beast, man. I never really seen that happen. Not there
And the
because I
lady
think
made it
Zach
very
was there
clear
all
this
the time.
does not happen. This does not reflect the gym.
Yeah,
And I'm not the only new person there. Like,
yeah,
I think my striking's terrible. Don't get me wrong. But there are other people there that, like, I could obviously tell have just started. So it's like, it's not
yeah,
just me, you know?
yeah. It takes a while. And my striking's not the greatest. It's pretty good. It's not, but yeah, no. That does not reflect Jungle Boy. I'll probably get a gym membership there. It's just nice, Paul. I got the bag in the garage. I can play
Well,
my
I
own
got the bag
music.
here too. I get it.
Did you take my bag or did you get another one? You got
I
your own,
I
right?
have my own.
Oh, I guess mine just wasn't good enough for
No,
you.
it came with the mount. I needed a crazy mount. You should come over and
Oh, right,
check
yeah,
it out at some, come over
yeah,
this week.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for
Check it
sure.
out.
But yeah, no, that's cool. And Paul, you know what I've been on the search for? You know what I had the other day that I really, really liked? And this is off topic. I had some chips, and I never really eat chips, but there's some chips at the house. Herbs, sour cream, and onion may be my new favorite chip, Paul. You ever have the brand Herbs? Herbs?
No.
Herbs and
Herbs?
Gerbs? Herbs, dude. Let me tell you. They're like so normally you get some Lay's chips and you hold it up, the Lay's chip, and you can see right through it. A stiff breeze would shatter the chip. Herb
It's
chips, they're thick, bro. They got a little
like
thickness
a
to them.
kettle chip
So
or
I
what?
was they're like, no. Kettle chips are thin, Paul. You're miss no, no, no. These are ripple chips. These are some thick ass ripple chips.
Okay.
And I
They got
couldn't
a
find them
crunch.
anywhere. They got a crunch. I didn't like specifically seek them out. Like I didn't go to these stores just to get herb chips. Went to Target, they don't have them. Went to Walmart, they don't have them. I went to the two local grocery stores, they don't have them. Can't find the herb chips, and I'm pretty upset. And I just had a topic, Paul. Do you have a favorite chip? Just right randomly. What's your favorite chip?
Like any kind of just like
Kettle
a
chips,
potato.
kettle
It
chips,
has to be a
Ripple,
potato chip.
potato,
It has to be a
potato
potato
chip.
chip.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, potato chip,
Um,
Ripple, a
boy.
kettle.
So I don't eat many chips anymore just because you
Me
know how
neither.
bad they are for you.
They're
Uh,
terrible.
so if
Oh
I
yeah,
was
these babies, they're like 7 chips or 130
yeah,
calories. These don't fuck
if
around.
there was no limit, it was any chip I wanted. It could be as bad as possible. Honestly, dude, I'm not gonna lie, and maybe it's just because of our dad like hyping them up, but those Middlesworth chips that they made with trans
Yeah.
fat out of Pennsylvania, those kettle chips,
Mm.
I really like those. If I had to pick something I could just go grab off the shelf right now, uh,
Trans.
fuck, dude.
Mm.
Right
Those
off the
are
top of my
okay.
head, probably the sweet spicy chili purple bag of Doritos. I fucking love those.
Ooh,
It's just such a
those
good
are a good
flavor.
one.
The Doritos a
Yeah,
mid chip. I don't. That's not even
it is.
potato. That's a tortilla chip. Fuck. Well,
That's fine.
whatever.
Any
It
chip, that's a
works.
chip.
Yeah. Yeah. I
They are F
like
tier chips.
S tier. Yeah, there.
F tier. They're in the F tier chips. Doritos in general.
Oh yeah, the
That
chip
flavor is good.
itself,
You
but that flavor's good.
remember the Big and Bold, the Buffalo Ranch one? They used to have those. They
Oh,
don't
like
have them anymore.
it was like the cold, like the
Blue.
sky blue bag with like
Yeah, sky
orange
blue
on
and it
it.
was like hot.
What
Yeah, that
happened to
was good.
those? Those were
They
good.
discontinued them. Have 'em.
They were
They don't
so
have 'em
hot.
anymore.
They were really hot.
Yeah. They were hot as fuck, and we're white, so coming from us, it means a lot.
Yeah.
They're hot as hell. Yeah, sometimes I wish I had more spice tolerance, but I do
I
not.
don't.
I go into Buffalo Wild Wings, I get the spicy wings, and it's almost like I should order more spicy shit because it forces me to eat less
Yeah,
and I eat slower because I'm
yeah.
just hot as fuck, but then I build a tolerance to it. I love spicy shit
Yeah, do
lately.
you ever go are you like me where you'll go through like a year or two span of like, "Oh, I wanna get" you're more into spicy food and you can tolerate it more, but then you just stop having spicy food and you try to go back to it and it's so tough? That's my problem.
I never I guess within the last, like, 6 months, I started eating anything, like, if the option is spicy, I'm like, "Spice it up," so I haven't, like, got out of that, and I'm not gonna
Okay.
leave it because I prefer it, and I wanna build
Good
a
on you,
tolerance.
man, because for me,
Yeah.
it's like I'll crack a Dr. Pepper and I think that thing's fucking spicy, it's not good, I'm white.
Okay, buddy, that's a little much there. What do you think McDonald's Sprite is all fucked up too?
No, that's
By the
crispy.
way, that's
McDonald's
different
Spice is
Sprite, by the
crispy.
way.
It is.
That's not. I know. I never knew that for the longest time. Like that's not normal Sprite. That is not spicy. What's the matter with you? I used to think dude, it took me years to get used to Listerine original. Years. I used to think that shit burned.
Listerine.
That's spicy. Yeah, Listerine. Yeah.
That's a
Now it
different.
don't
That isn't
burn.
spicy. It's just like a burning. It's getting all that plaque. You know how it's working. You know, it's eating it
Well,
away.
I'm spicy, Paul. I think it's spicy. When I drink cups of it, it's pretty fucking spicy. I get drunk from I get drunk from the Listerine. You ever do that? You ever get drunk off Listerine? You ever do that?
No.
Remember that one dickhead that would just go and drink Listerine all the time? Wonder what happened to that guy. He's probably dead now. Shoe nice.
Shoe nice? Yeah, I know he's
Shoe
alive. He's
nice is
doing
dead.
TikToks. Remember he
Oh yeah,
called
no, but
PKA a lesbian book club? That really made me laugh
oh,
because he was on
oh,
PKA at one point, and then
oh,
like
okay.
somebody commented, "When are you gonna go back on PKA?" And he's like, "Those bunch of dickheads are like a lesbian book club," and it made Taylor bust pretty hard when he heard that. It's pretty funny.
Funny. It is true. They're like a lesbian book club. What a weird way to
Can we
describe
talk
it.
about Amazon? Can we just talk about delivery? So I know
Yeah.
last week I talked about this on the show where I hate now that you can't go to big box stores and even the most common things you used to be able to get years ago. I want to buy an entertainment center. I want a new coffee table. I want a set of
Mhm.
furniture, not from a furniture store, just mid-range stuff from like, you know, like an IKEA or a Walmart, whatever, right? We don't have an IKEA here up north, but I want to talk about delivery now. So, as you know, I had to succumb to Amazon and order all my shit off there because I couldn't find a set of things anywhere at one spot that all match in
Mm.
town. I get it. I order all of it. First off, they lose the entertainment center was supposed to show up 4 days ago. They lost it. They say if it doesn't arrive by today, to call tomorrow and get a refund. It showed up yesterday, dude, in pieces. Like, obviously, it's in pieces. You have to build it, but I'm talking about. I feel so bad for the guys that have to carry those heavy boxes to like my door. Like, I wish like there's almost a way they could just like text me. So like, because I'm home all day, so I can just like meet them and grab it and pull it in. It's like I wish I had an Amazon camera. It's like either well, it's probably customs because it came from outside the country. I think it came from Canada. It's either that custom sucks or that box was so poorly constructed. It was all sliding out the bottom, all the pieces. It was slammed like onto my stairs, sliding down the stairs. All the pieces were like in my front yard almost, like on the walkway. Everything was there. I built it. It was fine. It wasn't in the greatest condition. There were scratches, gouges, whatever on it. Then I'm supposed to get 2 end tables, quantity of 2. I bought 2. One showed up and it said both were delivered. So now I have to go dispute that. But this is what I'm saying is like, I hate ordering things online, big shit like that. Like, I shouldn't have to order big shit like that. Like, I should just be able to go to a brick and mortar store and get it. They're like, oh, you order it online to the store. It's like, I get that, but I don't want to wait longer and then go have to pick it up. Maybe I'm just kind of I'm just kind of complaining. I'm kind of ranting here, but it's just like all the package handlers I've had have just treated all like the bigger stuff like shit. And I get that it's heavy, but it's
Yeah.
like, give them a fucking dolly or something. Jesus.
This is the world's smallest violin I was playing for them. I don't give a. It's your job. Do your fucking job. You can't just throw packages because you don't like it. That's not how that works. And
Yeah.
yeah, they throw heavy packages all the time. I know they do. I ordered some Squishmallows from Target because they were on sale. They had it in a big ass box. That shit was damaged as hell, but it's Squishmallow, so it doesn't matter. But that box was, like someone whipped that shit, and I would whip it too. I'm not even. I'm like I would do that too. Um, Amazon is I want to say out the door, but it's definitely not. They do have a distribution center, Paul, getting built in Duluth. I don't know if you know about
Yeah,
that.
they
Um,
also have what's it now? They have terrible they changed all their policies on returns.
yeah, it's
Terrible now.
awful. I wanted to return this. I got this cool little skull pendant. If it focuses, look at this guy. He's like crucified. See this?
Yeah.
This is broken. Can't even be broken. I'm like, I go to Amazon. I'm like, well, they'll refund it for me, surely. They're like, send it back and we'll refund you in about a month. It says like, 25 to 30 days you'll get a refund or we'll send you a new one. And I'm like, at this point, I might as well just keep it and have it hanging like this. It's gonna look dumb, but I'm like, whatever. It's not even worth my time to
Hey,
put it in a box and send it
if you
back.
get the new one or if you get another one, I'll take that one from you.
Already gotten your hands in my pocket. Get your own chain. Get your own cool little skeleton hanging thingy. But
I like it. It's like it
no,
got
man.
eviscerated and his legs got torn off.
Yeah, yeah, his arms, yeah, his legs are all fucked up. Yeah, no, I was really really disappointed that that came broken. And yeah, I've had another package recently just never got delivered. And I was like, the fuck, I kind of wanted that thing and I'll never get it. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I just didn't get it. And I'm like, what the fuck?
So Mega
Shipping
Masturbator
and stuff.
8000.
Something like that, something like that. Nah, I can just go in person. See, you're a savage when you buy sex toys in person. I go to the Adam and Eve shop.
You
They
go
know
to
me by
Pure
name. That
Pleasure
bitch.
up
Pure
on the
pleasure.
hill.
You ain't go to
I've
that.
been in there
Adam,
once. I've been in that
go to
section.
Adam and Eve.
I've only been in one sex shop once ever, and it was Pure
Mm,
Pleasure. And I was just like, I gotta see what's going on in here. This place
mm.
is spooky. Let's go check it out.
Yeah, I went to
And I was
Spencer's with
surprised by the
somebody.
amount of porn star made fleshlights they had. Like, like
A
it's
lot.
supposed to feel like this person.
It's like
Horrible.
you're not fucking Adriana Chechik, you fucking dummy. Like, why do you need her pocket
Yeah.
pussy? It's like $20 more than the original. Like, by the way, I do not own any of that, but been to multiple sex shops and I will continue to go. I don't care. I'm shameless. That's like me going to Spencer's with somebody and they got that whole back wall of sex toys. And they had the off-brand Bad Dragons, and I go up to the cashier. I'm like, do you have they got so embarrassed. I'm like, do you have like real Bad Dragons? They're like, what's that? And I'm like, don't even worry about it. I didn't even explain. I just asked because I wanted to see. But yeah, shameless, don't care at all. But yeah, no, those personalized flashlights, those are definitely different. You know who I want to get a flashlight from?
It's-
This guy on Instagram.
yeah.
Paul, what's his handle? Can you give it to us? Mlazri?
Mlazri, Mlazri. Go check this guy out, Malik Lazri. He's like, the way I can describe him is really he's an artist because all his content is very like, if it isn't okay, so this guy has fleshlights and he claims they're a special
Rare
edition.
ones.
They're rare. They're all custom made, but they'll be like Thomas the Train. They'll be like Woody from Toy Story. It'll be like the Dune popcorn bucket from Dune 2. But he makes all these. I'm pretty sure these are not like collectibles, but he makes it seem like they are. And he'll do like
Job.
He'll take like artistic photos of them and then do a little video of them and like introduce them and like talk about their features and whatever.
This one we had
his other content's just like photo shoots and stuff, which makes me think he's like one of those guys that's like really into like style and like art and stuff like that.
He's a sex worker. That's what he does. He sells sex toys. Anyway, he'll be like, right here we got this Pixar A Bug's Life custom fleshlight. This was only given to the employees as a promotional item, and it's like the caterpillar from A Bug's Life. And it's like, that wasn't given to employees.
Yeah.
You fucking lying fuck.
Yeah.
Like he's like only 50 of these made. He doesn't sell these, by the way. Like you can't. I'm pretty positive you can't buy these.
No, I don't know. He's got the
Okay.
cherry pie with the catch 10. He's like, yep, this was given to every producer, extremely rare on the set of American Pie 2. And it's just a cherry pie fleshlight. It's horrible.
That one actually might
be real. That's viable.
Yeah, that could be a real flashlight. It's like a real or not, really, is what it is. But that guy's foul and he should be locked up.
No, I would love to have Malik on the show. I think he would be a great podcast person.
I've never seen his face. I don't think he shows his face.
You haven't seen his face? Oh, he shows his face in a couple of them. You haven't seen it?
Okay.
You haven't seen the Kentucky?
Is he like how I expect him to look? Does he wear glasses? Does he have a beard?
You haven't seen Kentucky Fried Coochie yet? You haven't seen the
fuck that. Does he hold it up?
It's a KFC. It's like a KFC like chicken bucket one you can fuck. Like, and
is he overweight?
He's a heavy. He pulls up and he's in the KFC drive-thru and he's cheesing. Yeah, can I get the Kentucky Fried Coochie, please? And they hand it to him in the drive-thru, and he gets home and opens it up and does a review of it. It's pretty funny. He's a little heavier. He's not like fat.
I know what he looks like. I picture him, and I'm gonna say it that he's like kind of like
voice.
A worm. Like
his voice is so funny.
Yeah,
like he's got like the most. He's got a raspy voice, so it really just fits how foul the things are. The fleshlights he's showing. It's terrible.
Locked up, or at least have him get looked at or something.
My buddy Clay, if I just even bring up that guy, he can't stop laughing at those. That is the funniest shit to him. Yeah, I almost made him crash the car with all four of us in it because I was playing him in the back, and he just hears ticklers intact, and he's just busting.
Yeah, this one was never used. This one was used. Yeah, that guy is interesting. It's a cool cat. We should get him. I'm surprised Instagram allows that, but
what's it? Always watching. He really likes Mike
Wazowski watching. Like that's fucked up, bro.
Yeah,
that's gross.
like, the eyes removable. You can pop the eye out.
Why would you want that? Why would you want to do that? It's awful. Well, we can swap topics here, Paul. I wanted to ask you a question. What do you have Jojo Siwa on here? Jojo Siwa Karma. Paul put this as the
So I
topic. Paul,
watched the
let us
first
know.
20 seconds of this today because Foster, shout out Foster, told me about this yesterday when I was hanging about him. You know Jojo Siwa, right? She's like a childhood star. I don't really know what she does, honestly. She like would dance
Yeah, I don't know what
around.
she does
She would
either.
dress
I
up
don't
and
know if
dance.
she's
Think of like
been.
a Hannah
No
Montana
clue.
of like this generation, I think. I don't know if she had a show or whatever. I think she did. Maybe on YouTube or something. But now she released a music video. You can go look it up right now. Just watch the
Emo.
first. Yeah. Have you seen it? It's
She
called
doing?
Jojo
What's she
Siwa
doing?
Karma. And I watched maybe the first 10 to 15 seconds of it. It's very
Okay.
sexualized, which I mean, what is it nowadays? It's
She's
kind
an
of like
adult,
she's
so
trying
that's
to be
fine.
like a bad girl now, like trying to like do like a character change in a way. But I don't know. I just thought it was
Yeah,
like
she does.
so cringe. But what I'm like worried about, this is why I get worried about it. And like sexualization, like I don't know how old Jojo Siwa is. For all I know she's 20, but she looks extremely young. And that music video is very sexualized. And like,
Oh,
the reason why I worry about shit like that is like my niece, looked up to JoJo Siwa, was really into her stuff when she was younger, and she's older now. She's like what, 7, 6, 8, somewhere around there. She's
some uncle you are, you piece of
I'm
shit.
a
I'm
piece
just
of
kidding.
shit.
You can't even Paul, you can't even find it on YouTube anymore. It's just not there.
No way. Was
Dude,
it?
I
I
can't
watched
find
it
it.
this morning.
Oh, here it is. Never mind. Oh, it doesn't show up in search unless you go to the URL. Oh. Yeah,
It
she's doing
shows
the
up to
whole
me.
emo goth thing. She's doing some lesbian sex stuff there. Well, Paul, it's
Which
just
is
like
fine, but it's like I don't care if it's I don't give a shit what it is. It's just it's very sexualized, and if her following is a lot of younger girls, and I don't know how old is JoJo Siwa.
I don't. She's 20. I don't care what it is. I know
Okay.
it's hot. Is all I know. Some hot,
Fuck.
hot
Well, you
lesbian.
can say that she's 20, but she at one point wasn't and was doing shit, and now it's like a lot of those girls that were following her aren't even of age, like older yet, and now she's releasing shit like this, and it makes it hard because I don't know. It's just to me, it's like it's kind of I don't even know what I'm saying about it or why I brought it up.
It's
I
like
know it's
ghosts.
trending. I know it's trending right now, and it's just kind of gross. Like it doesn't
I hate
seem right.
choreographed dance scenes. They're like, this is what she's doing.
Yeah,
What am I watching here? This is retarded.
that's what she's known for.
Well, Paul, even back in the day, our niece was watching, like, it was always over sexualized. Like that song, Paul, all about that bass. Huge popular song. You know what I'm talking about? You know that song? Y'all know that song by that one gross big old lady? Um, Gross. Very sexualized song. Young kids like that shit. Sex sells, Paul. It's just the way of the world now. It's just how it's gonna be. And it's
Yep.
very bad. Like a porn addiction is destroying young minds and stuff. Um, and honestly, I know for a fact. I mean, I don't like TikTok, but I know TikTok doesn't play that shit. They will not let that shit up on their on their platform. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a real problem. Kids watching over sexualized content and stuff. And it's like, where do you draw? Should you? It's hard to say. Should JoJo Siwa be doing this? But it's like she's an adult. She can do whatever she wants. And if her young fans, it's kind of at the end of the day, it's up to the household, the parents to decide. And if the parents aren't there deciding, then you can't blame JoJo Siwa for it because the
Yeah.
parents need to cut that shit out.
Yeah.
It all starts in the home. So I say, go JoJo Siwa, have lesbian sex, start an OnlyFans. I will subscribe. I will watch it.
Yeah.
Do you.
Dude, porn is
Let
really
the parents
terrible for
decide.
people. Porn is horrible.
Really bad. It's not good at all. It's Yeah, it destroys a lot of kids' perceptions, and what is it like? There's a huge percentage. I want to say it's like 30% of people between the ages of like 20 and like 30 of like not having sex or it's something like that. I don't even want to say the facts, like don't know, but it's a huge percentage. It's like the lowest sex rates we've had in like decades. It's
Yeah.
because porn gets this this fake um it just, it's just fake. It's not real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people can watch porn and get off, and they don't need to
It's too
go and
easy to
see a face.
access. It's everywhere. It's
Yeah,
free.
and then it creates this idealization of women, and men too, that just gets up into young kids' minds that affects them really hardcore, and it ruins.
You know where it really ruins it is like predominantly male populations like China and India and places like that
Yeah,
where they're all severely addicted, and they in their
there's no women.
country, it's not there's not many rights for women, so it's not uncommon for ours to happen, or like, sexual assault, and it's almost like seen as like normal, and it's weird. And like
My
if you
hentai's
go
big.
what?
I swear in China, it's like and Japan, it's like for every 10 guys, there's 1 woman. I think it's like
Yeah.
10, it's literally like a 10 to
Yeah.
1 ratio, which
Well,
is
what
horrible.
we already know that they're populating themselves out of existence. Like that's what China's
Yeah,
doing, is that, they're not there's a lot of more incels there, obviously based on population than there is here. As far as people like
they
not
started hentai.
procreating, but yeah, so porn's
Yeah.
terrible, man. I struggled with it myself in the past, and it's good to just get that shit out of your mind and go do something else. So what
Mhm.
really helped me was just chewing gum. Everybody, young males will have those sexual urges. There's nothing you can do to really avoid it. But I will tell you this: you get to your mid 20s like I am, and it's almost like it just completely goes away. It's really weird. It's like
Oh,
really
and I don't
weird.
well, yeah, because 1, I think your T gets lower, but also, Paul, I don't wanna gross, but you have a partner, so, like, you don't necessarily need to watch
Yeah,
porn, you know what I mean?
yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of a lot of young kids don't, and I don't even watch that much porn. I do if you know what's metal, Paul? Jacking off in your mind. I got pictures in my mind. I got that shit running through my head. No, 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 I make my own videos, so I'm not
You
worried
gotta
about
get
it,
one of those, like, those little picture flipper things, like, that
yeah,
you remember you port those around and you can see different
yeah,
scenes? And remember, it
yeah,
reminds me
just
of,
flip
like,
it.
when the internet went out in South Park and Randy's doing, like, the stick figure, or you remember that?
Yeah, porn.
The
You
puppets?
like
Yeah.
yeah, lesbians, jacking off, and then it
And
just he
he's
keeps
drawing
drawing the
it.
pictures, and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
stick figures. Yeah, it's awful.
"Ah,
No, you gotta
damn
jack
it!"
off in
He
your
can't,
mind,
yeah.
man. Yeah, yeah. No, it's just one of those things where you gotta cut it all out, delete it all. And I'm not, I don't have an addiction to it. I know I don't. And it's also like, what is an addiction? You know what I mean? Like, how do you draw that line? If it, dude, here's one of the greatest things. I remember a teacher told us, it was in sex ed in 7th grade when we took it. The teacher said, because we had that anonymous box, you put in a question, put it in the box, right? She'll answer it, so it's anonymously, so kids can learn shit. Really good box, by the way. You know what I put in the box, Paul? I put a can you use food stamps to buy tires? And she read it out loud, and she's like, this is not what the box is for. I'm like, can you use, because that's from a head of state, great
Yeah,
line. She's like, this is not what this, so I was being a dickhead. But one of
that's
the
pretty good.
kids asked a question where he said, how do I know if I have a porn addiction? And she said, well, you're at an age where it makes sense and it's okay that you're doing it. But if you find that you're not getting what you need to get done, your schoolwork or communicating
You
with
gotta
your
control
friends,
your life
or
like
you're
anything
choosing
else.
that over that, then that's where it draws a line. And just the way when she said, if you're choosing that over getting schoolwork done, that's an issue.
Yeah.
And I suspect that kid probably was. So hopefully he's better now. But I never had that problem. But yeah, it's also, how do you define an addiction? You know what I mean? We all get addicted to shit. Everyone's addicted to something. But yeah, destroys young minds, perception of women. It's not good. You mean just look at just with social media and shit. We said it before, especially with social media and the internet. You can track the rates of anxiety and depression. They go straight up with the invention of social media and the internet. But also there could be a lot of other things like the poison in the water and all the other stuff they put in their foods. But yeah, tricky. It's a tricky subject, man. Tricky subject. If you're dealing with it, hearts out to you, man. Get your shit together. I will say this. I won't out this person. But a dude I knew, I don't know really talk to him anymore, but they struggled with it. One of the things they did is they put parental lock, where yes, they knew the password. They put it on their internet. Like they couldn't access shit. It would say enter this password. And yes, they knew the password, but at the end of the day, they saw it and they're like, I could enter the password or I could not. And that
Mhm.
kind of worked for them. I don't know how they're doing now. I don't really give a fuck. But yeah, maybe do that. Maybe that's my advice to you. To you all
Yeah.
struggling. I tell your 30 viewers, at least one of you is.
Boy, we'll wrap up the show here in a second, but I kind of want to talk about, I mean, if you have anything else you want to talk about too, we can talk about it, but just home ownership in general. So I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I've been getting some projects done, and man, I've spent so much money these last 2 weeks, and it's not even on like a few things, yes, for the house that needed to be fixed, we fixed, but there are
Mhm.
so many more things I need to do. And there are like custom things I'm doing where it's like, I'm never going to get to painting the ceiling anytime soon. Like, it's going to be a fucking, like,
You can't
uh,
paint tile anyway. Don't do
what?
that. Don't paint your tile. That's not a good idea.
No, you can. You can people roll them with black
Oh, I'm
paint.
just kidding. Really, you can? I didn't
Yeah,
know you
I'm
can
gonna
do all
paint
black.
all the ceilings down
Oh,
here
no shit.
black,
I was just
and
making
then
a joke. I didn't know you could do that. You should
yeah.
use lead paint. Just see if you can find that.
But anyways, like for instance, when I bought this home, the worst thing that was wrong with it is somebody had cut one of the floor joists in the basement. Terrible idea. It had dropped about a quarter of an inch. So my dad and
Mm,
I had to tear cabinets out of the wall the other day, do the whole demo job. We bought a floor jack, went and got custom cut steel, put it around there, bolted it into the joist, jacked it up with a floor jack, left it there, and now it's gonna be fine forever. It won't fucking move, and it wasn't gonna move
yeah.
anyways, even with that cut. But just kind of getting things tied up, putting together fucking furniture. Uh, now that I got my boxing bag hung, which is another thing my dad and I did, now I have to custom cut these ceiling tiles to fit around it and
Oh, yeah.
run the rails. I have to custom cut the rails. I bought 10 snips, and then you can't see it, but I have lights in here, and they're like plexiglass panels, and I bought all new
Mhm.
ones because these ones are like yellowed and they're a weird texture. And I bought new bulbs, but anyways, I had to custom cut that plexi to fit over a little tiny window in there now that I have the back. It's just weird. Once you see it, you'll see. But it's just like I'm realizing that home ownership is just never ending projects. Like that's just all it is. It's just never ending projects. Like there's always going to be something I want to do, even if it's something that doesn't need to necessarily be done. Like, yeah, do I need to paint the ceilings black in here? No. Do I want to? Yes. Do I want the walls to be white? Yes. That's what I'm going to do. Most likely it's just white or light gray walls. I want to paint
It
and
looks
clean
dope.
up the floors.
Do you ever think about something cool I've always wanted to do in my house is hire like a custom dude to do like a mural or like do some like Theo Von used to have like the Simpsons little
Yeah.
background. Like that'd be cool to have some like cool like actual art on your
So
wall.
that's why my
Um,
plan is to prime or do all the walls white and prime it
you do
white,
whatever.
because then I can, at whatever point when I decide, do whatever color I want. And I was thinking about that, Jack. I'm like, man, it'd be cool if I knew a really talented artist that I could pay to come over and just like do a wall, you know?
Yeah, that
Um,
wouldn't rape you on price because I can think
yeah.
of multiple artists right now that are local, but they would charge you up the wall to do a
Yeah.
mural like that. Expensive as hell. But it's a lot of projects. Anything you need to fix, that's on you. That's on you. Like you gotta fix. You're the homeowner now, which is
Yeah.
cool though. It's
Which is
baller though.
why I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, not really blowing money, but putting a bunch of money towards things to make it my own. However, those things that are
Yeah.
making it my own, when I'm thinking about that, like, oh, do I really need to do this? I need to spend money on this. M- As long as it's making it my own, but also adding at least some value to the home. So, do the ceiling panels need to be painted black? No. Do I want them black? Yes. But what else are you going to do at the same time? Well, I'm also going to replace all the lights with brighter light bulbs, better fixtures, and different plexi panels that let more light in. So
Hmm.
it's going to make the house look a little nicer down here. Like
Yeah.
it's going to be more uniform. Like I got like 3 shades of orange going on in this fucking room in the other room. It's
I don't like
weird.
it.
Yeah, it's
It is. You
weird.
could tell. Obviously, they're different.
Yeah, it's
Kind
weird,
of dumb.
and I don't know why they did that this way, but the way I see it is all basements should have dark ceilings, bright walls, and like a mid-toned floor. That's how I think and
And
then have
a
clear
dungeon.
lights. Huh?
A dungeon. Every basement should have a dungeon.
Yeah, that
Some
too.
type of armor on the
Lock and
wall.
key.
Hmm.
But home ownership in general is pretty cool so far. But I'm just not excited to go back to work next week. I'm getting how like
Yeah.
sometimes I don't get this much anymore, but you know how sometimes on Sunday you get the Sunday blues? You have to go back to work, or
Uh,
whatever your Sunday is. If it is
I get
Sunday,
the
you have to go
everyday
back to work
blues.
Monday. Well, for me,
Hmm.
it's like I have I'm getting off my vacation in 3 or 4 days blues, and I really don't want to go
Yeah.
back to work. But I
Ah,
got to. It's
that's
once I
life.
get back into the swing of things. Really, what I'm not looking forward to, it's not that I don't want to work. It's that I'm not looking forward to catching up on everything I missed. Like going through all my emails, figuring out
Mm.
what broke when I was gone, what needs to be fixed, what are the IT team's priorities. It's a lot of shit. That's what I'm not looking
Air
forward
raid
to.
sirens going off right now. Oh, I gotta look this up. Make sure we're not getting invaded by some Mongolians or something.
Yeah, what the hell? It's Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday at 1:45. Usually doesn't go off. Then I'm sure if it's a tornado rips you apart, it'll be good for content. Um, Sorry to mean interrupt you, but yeah, it just was like, what the fuck?
No, it's all good. That is
I like
weird.
that. Yeah, it's neat. But I suppose you should call it a show unless you got anything else. I have to piss so bad. I'm like that
Yeah.
Burt Wonderstone scene where I'm more pissed than human at
Yeah,
this
yeah,
point.
you're good. Yeah, we can close up the show. Anything else you want to bring up? Are you all good, Jack?
No, just like, subscribe, comment. You want to get our Gutterball. Gutterball 100 is coming up really, really soon. We got some
5
awesome
more.
guests. It's going to be a freaking episode. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be cool.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. You know, I know we didn't have a guest this week. I hope I can get one by next week. I'm working on something, but if not, you'll see us both. Have a great rest of your weekend. Oh, I didn't talk about UFC 300 predictions. I'm going to do that extremely fast. I'm just going to run through it.
Okay.
Because I want to talk, because that's this Saturday. I know. Okay. Main event, Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. I want Jamal Hill to win. I think he's going to win via submission on Alex Pereira.
Dude, it's going off again. That's like 3 times in a row.
Okay. We're probably about to get bombed. So if this cuts out, it is what it is. We love you. Next one for UFC 300. Zhang Wei Li versus Yan Zhonan. I don't really know Yan that much. I haven't really seen many of her fights, but I like Wei Li, so I hope she keeps the strawweight belt. I hope Jamal, as I said, takes the belt from Pereira. Justin Gaethje, I think, is going to beat the brakes off Max Holloway just due to him being the true lightweight. I hope Charles Oliveira TKOs or submits Arman. Bo Nickel is probably going to fuck up Cody Brundage, who is 10-5. Just be prepared there. I think Cody Brundage is going to get his shit pushed in. And then I know all of UFC 300 is a ton of good fights, but that was just the main card. I'm not going to do predictions for all the other great fights. That's it. So hopefully I come back next week and that hopefully happens. I didn't give rounds or whatever. Thank you guys so much. That was Gutterball 95. Gutterball 95. Have a great weekend. Whoa, ho, 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 ho.